Good day, everyone. My name is Leslie Patlani from Africa Kids Code. I'll be your host for today's session, which is use data and insights to help your business grow online. So before we can get started, we'll go through the agenda of today's session, which is by the end of this session, we'll be able to identify and understand the right questions to ask. We'll also be able to identify the best tools to use to gain analytics insights. And lastly, we'll be able to understand and analyze our data sets. So let's take a minute or two to familiarize ourselves with the comment box during the session, throughout the session. Okay, before we can get started, I would like to find out what ways do you use to describe your customers. Anyone? Okay, I see people are saying that they describe their customers as buyers, and then some are saying they describe them as endorsers. Endorsers are customers who don't mind to go to their friends or other people and tell them about your business. Buyers are those customers who don't mind coming to your business and just buy without asking any questions. Some describe their customers as complainers. Complainers are those customers who are never satisfied. They always complain. So we're gonna get started. So we're gonna go through our first session, which is understand the right questions to ask our customers. So before we get started, I would like to find out what questions do you want to ask your customers? Okay, some are saying they would like to find out if their customers are happy about their customer service. Some are saying they want feedback from customers to let them know what they want the company or the business to add on their products and services. So let's get started. So we're gonna go through a process for analytics, and then we're gonna break this process down in 4 steps. The first one is to identify your objective. What is my objective? And then the second one is, what questions do I need to address? Thirdly, where you get that information from? Where do I get the information from? And fourthly, which is the last one, is what do I do with that information? After gathering the information, what do I do with it? So you are going to look closer at what can be done with that information. So we're gonna take a look at some objectives. Here are examples of objectives we can use. The first one is to tell more people about my business so that they know you exist. And then the second one is sell more of my products or services. I mean, the main reason why you want to start a business is that you can make more sales. And the third step is identify my most valuable customers, the regular ones, those who always come. And lastly, we're gonna find new ways to engage with the previous customers that have come to us before. Some have returned and some have not returned. So You want to try to find ways to engage with the previous customers. So we're going to go to the second one, which is what questions do I need to address? Now that we have identified objectives, what are the questions that I need to address? Remember, that is also a process for analytics. So for us to know which questions we're going to address, we're going to use the ring to structure the types of questions that you will need to ask about your business. The first one, R, stands for reach. So reach, you're gonna use reach to know who is my target audience and how do I reach them online. And then we're gonna go to the second one, which is engage. So we're gonna try to find out what is it that they need. We're gonna go and activate. For example, if let's say you have you're running a guest house, so you want to know if those customers, are they booking rooms, or what do they do once have found what they need. And lastly, you would like to find out if those customers do they come back after your services or not. So that's the next step for analytics, which is what questions do I need to address. Remember, we can use reach, engage, activate, and nurture. So we're gonna go through the third steps is where do I get that information? For example, what tools can I use to get analytics, data, and insight? And then where does it come from? So we want to go through gaining the right information. We'll be looking at these tools in more details in the later section, but to provide a quick overview of how they help business gain insights. So social media channels. Social media channels, they measure views, likes, follows, and shares. For example, we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that have great reporting features. And then there is also organic search. With organic search, you're going to identify what customers are looking for and align your business with their searches. You're gonna get another. You're gonna also gather information using your website by identifying which pages have the most views and which cause users to disengage or bounce off. Like you will find out which pages have most views and which pages like visitors stop coming to your website because of them, so that you can improve on them. And then we're gonna go through the paid search. How can you market your product to customers who use paid channels? Like you want to find out what are they looking for and what type of audience do you want to attract. Last process for analytics is what do I do with the information that I have gathered? Now that I have the insights and data, so what do I use it for? And what can I do with it? And how does it affect my business? So using your insights, here are some of the examples, ways that insights and data can be used. First, you need to identify the market trends. For an example, what's trending? Let's take Twitter, for example. You can use the hashtag to find out what's trending on Twitter. And then also user experience to better understand their path to pages. Well, like what do they do on your website before checking out? You also identify what content users like to influence your content marketing plan with. Or lastly, adapt your strategy by using these insights to adapt your overall strategy. So I would like to, before we move on to the next session, I would like to pause to find out if you guys have any questions for me. If you do, don't hesitate to ask. My colleagues and I will gladly come to your question and answer. So far, I see no one has a question, so that means you are still happy. So the first thing to do is to identify the best tools to use. So what analytics tools do you currently use for your business? Can I see those answers in the comment? Okay, I see people are saying that they are using the social media pages, since I've mentioned that they have a great reporting. Some are saying they use Google Analytics. Some are saying they use Google My Business. Okay, so we're gonna go into detail of what I've just mentioned and see if those channels that you use are good for analytics. Okay, the tools that we can use are the social. For example, we have Twitter. We also have Facebook, and then there's also Hootsuite. And then other tools that we can use for analytics is organic search. The examples of organic search is Google Search Console and also Google My Business. Your web analytics, you can use Google Analytics to measure your everything that happens on your website. And then lastly, we can use the page search. The page search is the Google advertisements. So we're gonna go into details of each tools that we have mentioned here. So the first one, the first tool that we're gonna go into detail with is Facebook Page Insights. With Facebook Page Insights, you're gonna find out what people are engaging with on your Facebook page and how are they finding you. If you look closely on the screen, you see there are graphs. These are just showing you what the page insights that can help you find out what people are engaging with your Facebook page and how are they finding you. Like for example, you see the activities, like what do they do, the pages that they viewed, the page views, also the likes if people are liking your posts. Then on the graphs will also show you how many people or audience you have reached. And then those people that you have reached, do they engage with your post? Like what do they do after seeing your post? Also, you go through the followers. Are people following you on the social media or not? That's the page, Facebook page insights. That's what you'll see. You'll see the activities, the page views. Do they like your posts? How many people do you reach? And what do they engage with your post? And you also gain more followers. Now we're gonna go through the second one, which is Google Search Console. With Google Search Consoles, Google Search Console tools and reports help you to measure your site search traffic and the performance. Also fix issues and make your site perform well in Google search results. With Google Search Console, you also see which queries bring users to your site, and also analyze your site impressions or the clicks or the position on Google search. You will also submit the sitemaps and the individuals URLs for crawling. Review your index coverage to make sure that Google has the freshest views of your site. And then lastly, with the Google Search Console, you also receive email alerts when Google identifies issues on your site. Then you will see which URL are affected by these issues and tell Google when you have fixed them. I'm sure you can see that there's a graph on the screen showing you the performances, the impressions, and also if people are clicking on, if people are able to find you using the keywords. We also gonna go through the second one, which is Google My Business, abbreviated as GMB. With Google My Business, you can use it as a tool to manage your online presence across Google Search and Maps. And then you also create a listing which customers can use to engage with your business. You will also market to customers and increase your visibility. And then the insights to find out is how many views you had and how and where customers find your listings, the actions customers take on your listing, and other interactions customers have with your Google My Business listing. On the Google My Business, you'll have to mention where people can find you, like the location of your business. You also have to mention the working hours, so that people can just go to Google on Google and search for your business. After the results that are going to show, it will also show what time your business is closing and what time is your business opening, so that people can just go to your business when you're open and running. You'll also leave their contact so that people can call you, and then you can assist them if there's anything that they need help with, but they are lazy or they do not have time to come to your business and ask you directly. As I've mentioned, there's also Google Trends. With Google Trends, you're gonna identify the popularity of a search term in the Google and identify whether a trend is on the rise or declining. For example, with the trends, like you'll see what's trending, which topic is being discussed mostly, and then if your Google Trends, you'll see on the graph if your most people have gone through your trends at what time. So this graph will show you the peak, like at what time did you get most views, and which at what time did people use a certain term that we have used, which is the trend. Like for example, on Twitter, let's say we use hashtag Africa Kids Code, and then you'll see what time did most people use the term Africa Kids Code, and then you will also see what time like did they stop. That's when the graph is declining. You can view whether a trend is on the rise and declining, as I've mentioned. You can also find demographics insights, related topics, and related queries to help you better understand the Google Trends. With Google Trends also provides access to a largely unfiltered sample of an actual search request made to Google. And then it's also categorized as determining the topic for a search query and also aggregated as the group together. So they are just saying that with Google Trends, it can also show you if most people or your customers or site viewers are males or females. Then you also find out if the age group that they are in, so that you will know if you should your target audience should be males or females, and also the age group that you should target mostly. Google Trend data reflects searches people make on Google every day, but it can also reflect irregular search activities such as automated searches or queries that may be associated with attempts to spam our search results. So we're going to go through the rise and above the competition on the Google Trends. So you'll use Google Trends to find relevant trending topics. And then with Google Trends, you can also, this helps you use clearly whether the search volume is increasing or declining. And it also allows you to see seasonal trends in one clear-cut shot. Like, for example, which product is being bought most at which season. Like, let's say you are selling clothing, you will see if which clothing is bought more during summer, winter, etc. And then with Google Trends, you will also monitor your competitors. You will also be able to identify the static keywords for search engine optimization. And then you will also find topics by the region. For example, which province are the most people are searching you from, so that you will know if most of your customers or the page site viewers, do they come from Pretoria, or do they come from Limpopo, or are they coming from Northwest? So with Google Trends is good. You'll be able to find out those things. And then for your website, we're going to use the Google Analytics to understand what can customers do on your website. First thing first, to set up the Google Analytics, you'll complete information like understand what your site and app uses to better check the performance of your marketing, the content, the product, and more. So today's session is just a continuation of yesterday's session, which was using the marketing tools and social media. So if you missed the session, please go on our YouTube channel and look for yesterday's session, which was at the same time yesterday around 12. And then with Google Analytics, you also get insights on only insights that Google can give you, such as access Google's unique insights and the machine learning capabilities to make the most of your data. And then you'll also connect your insights to results to analyze works with Google advertising and publish products, so that you can use your insights to deliver business results. So with Google Analytics, what you will see is just there are things which are called the metrics. The metrics are the page views and also the likes. Then there's also conversions. Like, for example, for our marketing, you have a newsletter on your site, and then if you have a newsletter on your site, and then a conversion will tell you if those people, how many people do they come to your website and then end up signing up to your newsletter, or do they come to your site if you have an e-commerce website, do they come to your website and also end up buying a product, or you may just go there and views. Lastly, we're gonna go with dimensions. The dimensions will tell you which devices do the viewers or the visitors of your site do they use. Are they using smartphones? Are they using desktops? You will also find out where they are coming from, the location that they were at when they accessed your website. Were they accessing your website from Soshanguve, or were accessing your website from Johannesburg? That's what the Google Analytics will tell you. Google Analytics is just for your website. So we are going to take a deeper look at the different features and ways we can use analytics in the next few slides. So, but before we move on to the next section, I would like to take a few minutes to answer any questions you may have. Please remember to write to the chat box. This is the left chat. Okay, I see so far I don't have any question. It means I'm doing a good job. Our next session is understand and analyze your data. To understand and analyze our data, we're going to use Google Analytics dashboard. So this, I'm going to go through the features of Google Analytics on the dashboard, which is the geographic location, as I've mentioned, where your visitors are coming from, the popularity over time, what time does your website get most traffic, and then you also, on the dashboard, you also find out the active users, like at that current moment, how many people are visiting your website. And then the visits, you will see how many people go to your website monthly. And then how do you acquire those users? Did those people find your site by going to Google and search for your company, or did those people come to your site from Facebook or Google or YouTube, or maybe they saw a link on WhatsApp and then they clicked on that link, which took them to your site. So with Google Analytics dashboard, you'll be able to see where your customers are coming from, what time of the day does your website get most traffic, and then at that current moment, how many people are on your site. As you can see on the slide with the green shade, it's showing 29. So that 29 is showing that there are 29 people on your site at the current moment. And then you also see how many people are visiting your site with Google Analytics dashboard. And then you also know where are they coming from. Are they coming from social media? With social media, it can be Twitter, it can be Facebook, it can be WhatsApp, or did those people just go to browsers and search for your company? So we're gonna go through to the next one, is to how to set up a Google Analytics account. First thing first, you have to go to any the Google browser, and on the search engines write analytics.google.com, and then after that you have to choose a name for your account. For example, for us, since we are Africa Kids Code, we'll say the name for our account is Africa Kids Code. Or in case, let's say you have two businesses, and then you know which one to track, so that if you have two businesses, for example, like Africa Kids Code, and then your second business is Leslie, so you have to give each account a different name so that you know which one you want reports on. So after giving your account a name, then you'll choose which industry or the category to help you when you benchmark against others who have targeted the same industry. For example, uh, are you in marketing? Are you in electronics? Are you in what this part of choosing an industry category is more like, what does your business do? Is your business about is it a school business, or is it, are you selling clothes, or are you selling electronics? Then that's where you will choose the industry category that you are in. And then after that, and then I think everything will be fine for you. And then the next step is to go to find the tracking code. One will ask, how do I find the tracking code? So for you to be able to actually be able to measure your analytics, you need to add the correct tracking code to your pages. As you can see on the screen, is showing that where you will find your tracking code. Guys, please don't hesitate to ask if I'm saying something and you're confused. So on the screen is showing us an example of a tracking code when you are using a website builder such as Wix or WordPress. You have to go to the website builder, under formats, the site, and under side you will see Google Analytics. That's where you will see the code. And then we'll also understand the main 4 areas of reporting. For example, the audience. All of the Google Analytics reports are groups into 4 main areas to help you answer those questions that we mentioned before. You will see this area on the navigation menu on the left-hand side of your home screen if you have opened on your laptop or your smartphone. And then you will see the audience, who are my users, who are the people who are visiting your website. And then the acquisition, how did those people find you? You remember the example I've made of a social media? Did those people see a link of you on Facebook? Or did they go to, remember on Facebook you can be on someone's page or specifically your Facebook page? And then you also see the behavior, or like, for example, what do they do on your website? When they go to your website, do they just go to your landing page, which is the home page, or do they go to other pages such as the about, the contact page, your services? That's what you will see under the behavior. What are those people doing on your site once they have landed on your site? What exactly do they do? You will just go to your home page and read and then exit the page, or you will, after reading what's on the home page, you will go to the other pages or not. And then the conversions, as I've mentioned, let's say for example you run an e-commerce, you run a company that's selling, and then you have an e-commerce website. E-commerce website, it's where you'll be selling your products online. For example, we have Sportsy. there's a site where you can go to sports scene and actually end up buying something from there. Do you want to buy a sneaker? Do you want to buy a shirt? Or you can go to, for example, another example of e-commerce is Take a Lot. Do you go to a Take a Lot, and then after going to Take a Lot, do you actually end up buying? The conversion is like, for the main reason you want to have an e-commerce website is that you want people to go to your site, and once they are on your site, and then end up buying something from there. So those are the conversions. So you are converting viewers to buyers. So on the conversions, you like to find out what are they worth to me. Are they just going to your site and view, or do you actually convert by buying something? So that's what you will see on the dashboards. And then the next thing is the data in Google Analytics. So the data in Google Analytics is the dimension. Do you still remember what I said the dimension is? The dimension is the report on where what devices do your customers use to access your site, or where are your customers visiting your site from. Those are the kind of the dimensions that you will see. And then we also have the metrics, the numbers. Metrics is anything that can be measured. The numbers. You see how many people are viewing your site, and then you also see which pages are the ones that are being viewed mostly. So do you still remember the acronym that I've used before? The RIM, which is the engage, activate, and then the nurture. With the RIM concept and tips to practice, reach your how are those people finding you online. Then you will identify which search terms are driving the organic traffic on your site. And then you also look to improve links from your social media platforms. And then you also develop relationships with referral websites to drive more traffic to your site. And then we're gonna go to the next one, which is the engage. With engage, what are people engaging with when they find you online? So you will learn which pages are not getting any views. And then you also discover what is really engaging to your visitors. For an example, you could discover that you lose a lot of people at the payment page. Like people, they actually tap onto something when they're about to, they click on a certain product, and then when they're about to check out, and then those people, they end up leaving. Then you'll find with engagement, you'll see what are those people doing after they've selected a certain product. And then this might need you to be simplified so that you'll find that maybe people are not buying your product because it's not easy, it's not user friendly. It's kind of complicated for them to actually know what exactly, how do they check out. And then you also go through the activate. Activate is what channels is driving the most bookings. You still remember an example of a guest house that I've made earlier, saying that once the reason why you have to you want to have a website for guest house is that you want to know if people are booking your rooms or not. So with Activate, you will identify which referring sites drive conversions. Remember that with I'm not sure if you attended Khotato's session yesterday, which is using the marketing tools and the social media. He mentioned something about this display advertising. With display advertising, which is part of paid search. With paid search is that you can actually advertise on other people's websites. So with Activate, it will show you, it will help you to identify which referring sites drive conversion. Let's say you have advertised on a certain website. Which website can I use as an example? And then if you are, let's say you advertise on a website, Africa Kids Code, and then you will see if most people that come to your website, do they come to Africa Kids Code or do they come from other websites? And then you will see which one is doing, you get more traffic from, and then in future, you must make sure that you always advertise on Africa Kids Code because it gives you more visitors. And then for referring sites, bringing good quality traffic, can you develop a partnership with them? Once you've noticed that most traffic comes from Africa Kids Code, then you'll have to develop a partnership with Africa Kids Code. Make sure that you always advertise on Africa Kids Code, but that does not mean you should leave advertising on other sites, which is the underperforming referring sites. And then with that, you'll see if you want to review the partnership with them or also continue. And then we're gonna go through the last right question to answer, which is the nature. Are your customers happy to leave a review? Like, are customers happy to tell others, the future customers, about their experience with you? So with this, you'll get genuine feedback from people who know, we know that they have bought your products. And then you have to respond to all reviews. Remember, negative feedback is good for you. The reason why I'm saying is good for you, negative feedback, it will actually tell you, like, are those customers, are they happy with your service? And then if they are not happy, then they will tell you what exactly like about your customer service, and then you'll know where what to improve, where to improve. You also, with nature, you also have to try different ways to encourage buyers to leave a review. For example, what exactly did they like about their customer experience with you? That's it. We are done using with the reel. So we're gonna go through the Google Trends. The Google Trends homepage lets you do the following. You'll explore what the world is searching for by entering a keyword or topic in the Explorer bar. And then you also see stories created by the News Lab at the Google that provide additional insights found in the data. This section is only available in some countries. And then with Google Trends, we also see the daily search trends. And then you'll see year-ins and the search data, like which year were they searching for in. You will also find the guidance material about the News Lab and the trends. The trending searches page shows the trending search around the world. You can click on a story to get more context, like the most relevant articles and the trending queries. With the daily search trends, you see the highlight searches that jumped significantly in the traffic among all searches over the past 24 hours. And it also updates you hourly. You can use the daily search trend to see what people are most interested in at any given time and how the search ranks compared to one another. And then with real-time search trends, it highlights the searches that jump significantly in traffic among searches. The algorithm for real-time search trends groups topics together that are trending at the same time on Google News and Search, and also the rank stories based on the relative spike in the volume and the absolute volume of searches. After that, you want to promote your business around seasonal trends. Seasonal trends allow your business to stay relevant and competitive. Throughout the year, your business will experience the peaks and the dips that will impact your revenue. And then there's also, you might use Google Trends to identify the seasonal trends in the types of clothing. You still remember the clothing example that I've mentioned before? Then that you know if most people which clothing do they buy mostly during which season. And then you will also create the content about the current trends or adjust to the demand. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, there was a trending of a clothing with the Mickey Mouse. So if you are a person who's selling clothing, then you also maybe you might try to add that the Mickey Mouse on your clothing so that most people can come and buy your shirts, your dresses, or your jeans with the Mickey Mouse. For example, with the women jackets, you can see a rise of the need in the winter months, and then you also see that in summer most women do not buy the jackets. Why? Because it's hot, and then you will have to adjust to the demands. And then you also use Google Trends for keyword research. Google Trends shows what searches and the keywords are trending. So you have to use the related queries section to use the trends to identify other potential keyword tag. Like for example, you want to know what is it that most people use to find you on the search engines. For example, as Africa Kids Coach, we also teach coding. We also teach the coding sessions. So we'll know if most people find us by searching coding, or you find us by searching for digital marketing, because we also have digital marketing. Or for example, for coding, since we have app development, you may find us by using app development keyword, or you may find us using web development keyword. You may find us using a Scratch programming keyword, or you may find us using the robotics. Those are the keywords research trends that you see if people search. How do people find you on the website? For example, on the clothing, let's say you have that Mickey Mouse integrated on your clothing, then you will see if most people, do they find you using the Mickey Mouse, or do they find you using the dresses. Those are an example of what the keywords tag about. So before we move to the last section, do you have any questions for me? If you do, please just write in the comment, the left chat, and then my colleagues and I will definitely answer your question. So far, I see there are no questions, so that means we are good to go to the next session. So in this means that we have, I would like to know what are your next steps. Like from what you have learned in the session, what are you going to do to make sure that your business is doing good online? Remember, the topic that we are doing today is use data and insights to help your business grow online. So from what's your key takeaway from this session? And then after the key takeaway, then I would like to find out what are you going to do to make sure that you implement what you have learned here. Okay, I see people are saying that some didn't know that there is Google My Business, so they are going to make sure that they have Google My Business, then they set it up. Some are saying that they've always wanted to know how many people are visiting their websites, and then what do they do on the website. So they'll make sure Google Analytics so that they can know what people are doing on their website and where most of the customers are coming from. Anyone else want to add something else? Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming to our session today. So if you would like to hear more about our upcoming session as well as the digital tips and the tricks, you can follow us. As you can see, our handles are scrolling on the screen, at the bottom of your screen. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube by using @Africa Kids Code handle. Or you can go to Facebook and find Google Digital Skills AF, Google Digital Skills for Africa, as their handle for Twitter is Digital Skills AF. On Twitter, for Facebook is Google Digital Skills for Africa with the number 4 Africa, and Instagram is Digital Skills AF. So this comes to the end of our session. Thank you guys for attending. Don't forget that we have other sessions. We have other digital marketing skills sessions every day at 12 p.m. And then we also have online safety sessions at 3 p.m. every day. Thank you all.